Hey guys, welcome back to Ballcap Sports. So we got Cora separating from the Red Sox, and we got Donaldson finally deciding on a destination, and it is the Minnesota Twins. I am surprised. He'd been linked to the Nats, the Braves, his old team, the Twins, even the Rangers and the Dodgers. Rangers and Dodgers sort of fell out of it, and it was down to three teams: the Nats, the Twins, and the Braves. I'm surprised because he has a relationship with Anthopoulos in Atlanta. I guess he thinks he's got a better chance to win in Minnesota. This is kind of surprising to me. Mark Feinstein, the first one to have it, put it up on Twitter about 5 minutes ago. So this is breaking right now. More news is coming out. It's a 4-year deal, $92 million to go to the Twins. I think there's a 5th year with a buyout option in there or something. This is crazy. All along, Donaldson had said he would give the Braves the last call. Whether he did that here or not, I'd be surprised if the Braves wouldn't match 4 and 92. Maybe that 5th year. I don't know. We just got a tweet from Passing from the beginning of winter. The Minnesota Twins were the sneaky favorite to sign Donaldson. They made a big impression in him on their pitch. That's just right now from Passing. So we've got a lot going on here. He'll be 34 for the 2020 season. So he's getting up there to get this kind of money, but good for him. Good for Donaldson. Last year in Atlanta, 37 home runs, 94 RBIs, 33 doubles. So he earned this. He was injured that last year in Toronto. They traded him to Cleveland for a field rake, and he didn't do much in Cleveland. Signs that 1-year deal in Atlanta. He was great. In his career, 219 homers, 645 RBIs. He slashed 273, 369, and 509. A 3-time All-Star, has that MVP in his back pocket. He's a good third baseman. Those injuries shortened his 17 and 18 seasons. I think there's a little bit of the hesitation there, but he was great last year. I think he'll continue to be great, and he goes to a Minnesota team that just has a ton of pop now. Let's take a look at the roster as it's going to be. You got Rosario, Kepler, and we'll see what they do in right field, honestly. Sano slides over to first base. Sano just got that 3-year deal. Donaldson's going to be your third baseman. Polanco, Arez at second base. Great catcher in Garver. The rotation, they get Odorizzi back. They have Barrios, who's great. Bailey. We looked at the Twins a few videos back when they did the Bailey and Hill signing, and the rotation isn't that bad. Dominic was good when he was called up. So the rotation with Pineda, Barrios, Odorizzi, that's a steady rotation. These guys, the Twins had 4 or 5 starters go 25 starts minimum last year. So they were a very durable rotation, one of the most durable rotations in all of baseball. So he's going somewhere that's got a solid pitching rotation. He's going and joining a team that hits a ton of home runs. Rosario's great. Kepler's good. Sano, he strikes out a little bit too much, more than you like, but he's got some pop. So, again, Garver, and Cruz at DH. So we can't forget about him. This is a team that's going to hit a lot of home runs. I think with Donaldson, the Twins have to shoot to the top of the Central, right? Like, is anybody going to pick Cleveland now? I don't think so. So I don't think we have the Twins. I think the Twins now have to be the favorite in the Central. So big move there. Donaldson going to the Twins. I'm honestly kind of surprised by it. I really thought that he would end up staying in the National League, staying with the Braves, but that's just not to be. So we have Donaldson going to the Twins. Finally, it was a long, long wait. We had to wait a long time for this one, and it ends up being a big one. Let me check some of the comments here. So talking about Arenado. Here's the thing about Arenado. I was doing some prep, doing some notes on the whole Arenado thing. The Braves have the prospects to get Arenado, so that could happen based on their prospects. But why would Colorado get rid of Arenado right now? He's the face of the franchise. He's the guy there. And with Blackman and Story and Dahl and McMahon, keep that team together. They need pitching. And obviously that's what they want back from Arenado, but can they maybe deal Rogers or Hampson? They've got Marquez, who's a nice pitcher. Gray is okay. It's Senzatella, it's Freeland, it's Hoffman. Those are the guys that they're getting bombed, right? And they got Lambert, the rookie. You hope for him to get better in year 2. Senzatella probably needs to go back to the bullpen. Freeland, he was good 2 years ago. Maybe he can bounce back. So Colorado needs to upgrade the pitching, but I just can't see them doing that at the expense of giving up Arenado. Arenado is their version of Mike Trout, Bryce Harper. You don't trade those guys. Guys that reach that level, you build around them. You keep them. They've got him locked up. Keep it that way. I think we need to hold on to Arenado in Colorado. So we'll kind of see what happens there. The Braves now, but the Bryant deal could happen. Chris Bryant could happen. So if the Braves are looking for what are they going to do, the Braves could go get Chris Bryant with the prospects that they have. Austin Riley could go. They could give up Ian Anderson and maybe another pitching prospect. The Braves could do something here and make a move, get Chris Bryant, because that's the deal that I think could happen. The Cubs have a lot. They could get by without Bryant. Austin Riley's a nice prospect, and the Cubs need pitching too. And if they get 2 pitching prospects that slide right into that rotation, that'd be huge because the Braves rotation is so deep and their prospects are so deep. The Braves aren't even, guys like Ian Anderson aren't even going to maybe sniff the rotation unless there's any injuries. So slide them over, make them a part of a trade with the Cubs. You get Chris Bryant, you get your stud third baseman, and you're all good. The Nats cannot make a move for a third baseman at this point. They don't have the pieces to give up. It's going to be Keyboom at third base, and maybe some other guys. I think this probably opens up a spot for Zimmerman to come back. There's been talk about the Nats trying to work out a deal with him. So we'll kind of see what that happens. But I think you could see the Braves go get Bryant. I think you're going to see Arenado stay in Colorado. I just can't see that happening. The Rangers keep popping up as trade destinations for guys. And that was the latest one earlier today that the Rangers were having a conversation about Arenado. That's not going to happen. There is Nick Castellanos out there, though. He could maybe do some third base for the Braves if they're looking to replace that production. It's going to be interesting to kind of see which way that goes. Do the Braves have a chance to win the division without Donaldson? That division is just tough. You've got, along with the Braves, you've got a Mets team that's the Mets team. The Mets are going to be in it. The Phillies and the Braves and the Nats, it's really just the Marlins are going to be fodder for everybody. They're just going to get nuked every time they come through. But you'll have a tough division. The Braves have great pitching. I think their pitching can get it done. And the Nats are going to be in it because they've got pitching and hitting. The Braves are going to hit. I think they will be fine competing for that division, even without Donaldson. But again, I think they make a move. They have too much young pitching. They can't get them all out there. So don't waste them this year. Don't send them out there back to AAA and risk an injury. Get rid of them. Go get Chris Bryant and make an impact. Replace that production. Chris Bryant's still young. So Donaldson's 34, right? Chris Bryant's still in his 20s. So if this does turn into Chris Bryant, that could be great because Chris Bryant could be at that corner for the Braves for the next 10 years. So that's okay for the Braves. They could go, they could take their prospects, take Austin Riley, take that pitching and turn it into Chris Bryant. And that wouldn't be a bad deal. I'm amazed. I'm shocked at this. I did not see Minnesota happening. I think it's too cold there. He's the bringer of rain, so he's going to Minnesota. Maybe he could be the bringer of snow because it snows there, well into the regular season. You'll be seeing the Twins games delayed because of snow in April. And that's going to be, that's something too, is the cold weather. The cold weather, the ball doesn't fly as well when it's cold. It flies nicely when you're down in the South in Atlanta, just teeing off on it. And when you're up in the cold, but yeah, hey, listen, that didn't impact Minnesota last year. They crushed a ton of home runs. So I think they'll just be fine. And Donaldson is going to be Donaldson's going to be it. I'm looking here, seeing what else is coming out. A lot of information is just going crazy here. If you're not following Sherman or Heyman or Morosi or any of these guys, they are all over this right now. And I'm trying to make sure we didn't miss anything. Again, if you're just hopping on, it's a 4-year deal, $92 million. There is a 5th year in the works, 5th year option that can increase the total value to $100 million. Again, Mark Feinsand all over this, first to put out that deal had happened. So, yes, Bringer of Snow. This is gonna be something. Again, looking at the let's take the roster and put it back up. Where are we here? So Rosario in left field. Rosario's great. Kepler had a really nice year last year with the Twins. Kepler last year, kind of a breakout year for him. 36 homers, 90 RBIs, slash 252, 336, 519. So Kepler's awesome out there in center field. Rosario last year, just 32 home runs, 109 RBIs, just more of the same from him. Breakout year for him, career highs in home runs and RBIs out there. You've got Sano. Now Sano's been up and down. But you take what you get with Miguel Sano. Last year, even with the 247 average, which hey, at this point, a 257 batting average and a 346 on base is good. The year before, awful with Miguel Sano, right? 13 homers, a 199 average, an on base percentage of 281. You can't live with that. But last year, the 34 home runs, a 346 on base percentage, you're good there. So, Sano can do it. And he did that in 105 games. So Sano's a beast. I really like Garver. I think Mitch Garver is one of the up-and-coming catchers in all baseball. 31 home runs in 93 games last year. Mitch Garver is a beast behind the plate, and he's going to do it again. So good stuff from Garver there. And then again, you add in Donaldson. Josh Donaldson last year, 37 homers, 94 RBIs, 33 doubles, and a 900 OPS in 155 games. That's key. 155 games. He played the season, right? There were no injury concerns with Josh Donaldson last year. So he gets this big-time offer from the Twins, and that certainly catapults the Twins to the top of that division. Let's take a look at that real quick. Let's just take a look at the rest of the Central. I mean, I can't see anybody else really competing for the Central at this point. The White Sox have made some moves this year. They have done a lot. Maybe let me take this back. So with everything the White Sox did, it kind of made sense that the Twins had to make this move because the White Sox have been serious about competing this year. We know Kansas City and Detroit, not going to happen. Cleveland just doesn't seem to be, their head just doesn't seem to be in the right place right now. You're talking about trading Lindor. He's your franchise. Jose Ramirez, who knows at this point. But the White Sox are pretty, the White Sox are pretty legit with everything that they've done. And we'll kind of see how that goes. Jimenez, you got the youth there with the White Sox with Jimenez and Makata and Anderson, and then you bring in Edwin Encarnacion, you go get Yasmani Grandal. So the White Sox, it's going to be a White Sox and Twins. And if you were to look back a couple years ago, White Sox and Twins, that kind of seemed far-fetched, but not these days. Not for the 2020, because that's going to be it. I think the Indians are going to come in third, and it's going to be all about Twins and White Sox. They're just going to pound the ball. They're going to hit a ton of home runs. God save the pitching, and we'll kind of see how that all plays out. Checking out the chat again here. Just need pitching. The Twins, the Twins pitching isn't that bad. Barrios is good. Odorizzi, if he can be the same guy he was last year, Odorizzi had a nice year last year. Let me look at his numbers real quick. Odorizzi last year was 15-7 with a 3.51 ERA. Not bad. Homer Bailey, Homer Bailey kind of is interesting to me. He had a good start to the year, but the second half of the season wasn't all that hot. So I don't know if you love Homer Bailey going out there. That's going to be one of those where they're going to need to outslug the other team, and with the team as it is now with Donaldson, they're able to do that. Rich Hill, when he's ready to go, he's going to miss the start of the season, but when he's ready, Rich Hill was nice last year, 4-1 with a 2.45 ERA over 13 starts, 72 Ks in 58 innings. So a great K rate for Rich Hill. And the other thing to keep in mind here is Dobnak. Outside of Minnesota, you probably never heard of Randy Dobnak, but he was nice last year. 5 starts, 9 games. He went 2-1, a 1.59 ERA, 23 strikeouts, 5 walks in 28 innings. So not bad to come up and have your rookie year, your major league debut, and to come up with a nice pitching line like that. I mean, you feel comfortable with him being your number 5 guy. And honestly, he's ready to go if this whole Bailey thing doesn't really work out. You got Barrios, Odorizzi, Dobnak, Bailey's at the bottom of the rotation. Pineda, if Pineda is what he was last year, then this pitching looks good. The Twins pitching in the Central, certainly. You send these guys out against the Royals and the Tigers, and they're going to mow them down. They'll compete against the Indians. They're going to have trouble against the White Sox for sure. But this pitching is going to get it done. I think the Twins pitching is going to get it. I think the Twins pitching gets it done for sure. This is a big move. I am surprised that this is how it went down. Last year Twins 101-61, and it came out of nowhere, right? And we didn't expect this. 101 wins. They scored 939 runs. That was second most in all of baseball behind the Yankees. They scored a lot of runs. They hit a lot of home runs. They were 101-61, and I think they're better. That doesn't mean they're going to win more games, because you can improve and then things just don't go your way. And, but I think they're the favorites for the Central, no doubt. And it's going to be fun for Minnesota baseball fans. It's going to be big and exciting. I don't know if the Twins have come into a season with this much excitement in a long time. 2016, they lost 103 games. They got killed in 2016. And they've turned it around. Rocco Baldelli is the real deal. He's a great baseball man. 101 wins your first year as a manager. Rocco Baldelli. Go and get him, right? You got a great manager. Rocco Baldelli is a great man. I'm excited for him. Last year, 3-out in the playoffs. So if you want to go that route, great regular season, swept in the playoffs. It is what it is. But you look at 2020, and they're going to be great. And with all this mess that's going on in Houston, why isn't Minnesota the best or the second best team in Major League Baseball? I think the pitching's good enough. And they have a schedule to where they're going to play the Royals more than the rest of baseball. They're going to play the Tigers more than the rest of baseball. The Indians, if the Indians trade Lindor, that Indians team starts to look pretty weak. So you're going to say goodbye to the Indians potentially. So these Twins, I'm telling you, you got to get it. I think there's going to be some people jumping on the Twins bandwagon right now. Twins can still trade for starters. White Sox stack with young talent. Indians need to get a Lindor trade done and commit to the rebuild. Not yet. The Indians are trending toward a rebuild. So if you have a Twins team, the divisions are so important because you're going to play these guys more than anybody else, right? If you're in the American League East and you're Toronto and you're trying to come up with those young kids, you're going up against the Yankees, you're going up against the Red Sox, you're going up against a Rays team that their front office just keeps putting out a winner. That's tough. If you're in the West, you're going up against the A's, which are always tough, the Astros, which have been incredible. But But in the Central, you got the Royals, who are going to be bad. You've got the Tigers, who are going to be bad. The Indians are trending towards rebuilding. And so it's really just the White Sox. It's the White Sox and the Twins. And I think that it's going to come down to pitching. Let me look again real quick at the White Sox rotation. I know from memory I like the Twins rotation over the White Sox rotation. No doubt about that. Let me look at their depth chart again. Roster depth chart. White Sox depth chart. Giolito, listen, it was 1 year. 1 year, Lucas Giolito. He didn't really show us anything in multiple seasons before that. The year before, he was 10-13 with a 6.13 ERA. Pulled it together, spins it nice, all that great. What are we going to see in 2020 from Giolito? Is it going to be 18 or 19, Lucas? If it's 18, Lucas, forget about it. Dallas Keuchel. You throw Dallas Keuchel, that lefty, up against that right-handed mashing Twins lineup now. See ya. Gio, they'll crush Gio. Lopez is so inconsistent. This White Sox rotation can't hold water against the Twins rotation. So give me the Twins there. The Twins are about to take off, man. The Twins are going to have a big year, and this Donaldson get just shows that they're on board and ready to go. And they're serious. They're spending money. Maybe the Twins, if the White Sox aren't making all those moves, maybe the Twins don't do this. The White Sox might have forced the Twins' hand here because of how good they got with all of their additions with Edwin and with Grandal. So the Twins probably felt like they had to go make a move. But this is it. This is the team. Donaldson at third, Polanco at short, Sano at first, Raz at second. I don't know what they're going to do in right. It seems like they could maybe do something there. I don't know. I don't know. What do we know about Cave? Is he good? I haven't seen anything on him. I'm gonna look him up real quick. I could be completely missing on Jake here. Let's see. Last year, 72 games, 198 at-bats, 8 homers, 258, 351, 455. Okay, I'll take it back. I love guys that have an on-base percentage about 100 points higher than their batting average. And if your slugging, again, is about equally as high over your on-base, that's great. That means you've got pop. That means you are walking. It means you're taking pitches. You're selective. And it means you're able to hit for pop. So these Twins, they're ready to go. And this is going to be exciting. Good point. Buxton in center and Kepler in right. Rosario left. Good point. Yeah, I mean, have a guy like Cave coming off the bench. That's cool. That would be good. So Rosario, Buxton, Kepler. Man, watch out for the Twins. This is these guys are going to be tough. These guys are going to be tough. Let's hop back. So the Braves. What do the Braves do? What do the Braves do next? Because I think they were the favorite, right? This is kind of a surprise. We knew the Twins were in it, but what was it, a week or so ago? We heard that the Twins were growing skeptical of the of landing Donaldson, and then here they are. Let me see here. We've got. Let me look at the Braves. What do they do now? I think they gotta go and get Bryant. Camargo's good. And if you want to try to see the future with Riley, it's not a bad idea. Riley came out on fire last year when he first got the call up, and then it just fell apart. The wheels fell off, kind of Miguel Sano-like. But maybe he can bounce back in 2020 when given that third base job. Maybe he has a nice bounce back season. But you got Camargo, you got Riley, you gotta like that. But if you wanted to, you could go and get Bryant. You package Riley, you package Wilson, and you package Anderson, those three guys, and Wilson and Anderson slide right into the Cubs rotation, because right now it's Lester, it's Darvish, Hendricks is getting old, Lester's getting old, Quintana. I can see those two Braves pitching prospects sliding right into that Cubs rotation. So that's what the Braves got to do. They're either going to commit to Riley, or I think they've got the pieces to go get Bryant. The Nats can't do it. The Nats do not have the pieces to go get Bryant. So, listen, this is a big one. I think it kind of came out of nowhere. Twins are certainly the favorite in the Central now. You know, again, when was the last time the Twins came into a season excited for their club? This is a surprise. This is a big surprise. Twins. Let's just look at the last few years here. I'm looking at it on my screen. You know, in 2018 they won 78 games, so they went from 78 to 101. Who saw that coming? Nobody. Back maybe when Mauer was at his peak, back in 2010. You know, they put 3 good years together in a row there. They made 2 straight appearances in the playoffs. They lost in the LDS both times, got swept. It's maybe it's since 2010 that Twins fans can be pumped for their team coming into the season, because it's kind of been rough going lately. They need to win a playoff game, though. They haven't won a playoff game since 2004. So, you know, I think that changes this year. This was big. This is a big move. We are going to wind it down. I appreciate everybody who's hopping on here and checking it out. It is going to be a fun situation there for. It is going to be a fun situation for the Twins. I think that they are going to run away. The White Sox, you got a lot of new pieces. They're going to have to figure it all out. I don't like the pitching. The Twins pitching's great. They're going to hit a lot of home runs, score a lot of runs. So give me the Twins to take that division. They get to face the Royals and Tigers a ton. The Indians are going down. So give me the Twins on this one. And White Sox will come in second place. But I think the Twins probably lead the league in home runs again. If they're not the number 1 run scoring team, they'll be number 2. And don't sleep on that pitching. So we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for hopping on. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it. If you haven't already, would love you to subscribe to the channel. Doing all sorts of baseball talk all year long. Also mixing in some football and some basketball. Yesterday I did a live did a interview with Ernie Acosta, the producer of Joe and Evan on WFAN in New York. So would love for you guys to hop on, check that out, subscribe, come on back. And thank you again, Josh Donaldson, to the Twins. This was a big one. Kind of a surprise. 4 years, $92 million, an option to take it to 5. We'll see how it goes, but I think good things are ahead for the Twins. Before we hop off, checking out the chat, see if anyone's got anything. Go Twins and go Braves. Listen, Braves, you're not dead. You're not dead. You're still going to compete in that NL East. All right, guys, thank you for watching, and we'll be back on soon. More news breaks. We'll be back on here. Thanks, guys.